We were really excited, as were many of you, when we heard from the President that Level 3 lockdown does allow for some kinds of church meetings, but with quite strict limitations. And so we've taken some time with the team to look at what can work for ChurchAlive, and we've got some good news and some bad news.
First of all, we want you to know that both Debbie, myself, and our leaders are very, very keen to meet in our buildings again sometime in the future.
We are missing you.
That's
we are
right.
missing worshiping together.
And so that is front and center, and that's why we've had long discussions around this to see if we can find a way to do that sooner rather than later.
The restrictions that are going to keep us safe, though, make the way that we used to meet not really viable. I mean, we used to have nearly 1,000 people here, if you count the adults, the teens, the kids. To then limit that to 50 people, how do you decide who gets to come and who can't come on a Sunday?
Can you imagine being that guy who's number 51 at the gate?
I don't want to say that to somebody. I don't want to say you can't come today. And then on top of that, we want to encourage you to follow the safety protocols, to practice social distancing, to wear a mask, to wash your hands, and practical things like we won't be able to have tea and coffee.
That's right.
That was one of my favorite times on a Sunday, is to share a cup of coffee with you guys. And so practically, when we do get together, we need to keep one another safe, and we need to make sure that we're including everybody. And it doesn't look like Sundays is going to be viable.
No, and we have a certain picture in mind, as like you said, of what it would be like to come back to church. And with all the restrictions we have to abide by just for 50 people, it's not actually going to be an enjoyable experience to come back to the campus quite yet.
So that's the bad news. The good news is that we are going to continue encouraging you guys to stay connected, and we're going to continue to give you guys online content. We're going to continue providing you with worship resources, with messages, and we also want to encourage you guys to not just continue with life groups, but to grow life groups. That's really what it's all about, is about making disciples. And we've always said that church is not just a Sunday experience. It's about relationships with people that you can pray with, that you can share life with. And so we want to encourage you guys to stay connected in that way.
There are no restrictions on being the church and on growing the church and gaining momentum, making disciples, getting the word of God out there, and to be a family, a growing family. So keep those WhatsApps going, keep the Zoom meetings going, all the stuff that you're doing out there to stay connected. Keep your hearts in worship, keep your hearts devoted, and the church will gain momentum.
If you are not yet connected in a life group, we would love to help you get a group going. And it's really not difficult. We recommend a size between 3 and maybe 7 people, whether you're doing that on a WhatsApp group call or whether you're doing a Zoom meeting. It gives that opportunity for every person to share, for you guys to discuss the questions related to the sermon content and the teaching series. And very important, it gives you guys a chance to get to know one another and to pray for one another. So this Saturday between 11 and 12, we're going to be doing some training. So if you can contact us, you can see the details on how to do that and hop on and help us get some more life groups going so that we can continue the great work we're doing at ChurchAlive.
Pastor Donovan, our national leader, always says, make haste slowly. So we all know what we want. We want to get back to church, but we need to be wise, we need to be careful, and so in the meantime, we're going to continue our online church at ChurchAlive.
Stay connected, and we're going to continue to pray with you and to encourage one another. And we know that this is going to be a year that is not just memorable, but a year that's going to be great for our church and for the kingdom. Have a great week.